Hello student. Now moving to the next part, we have interior and exterior of a closed curve. As the name suggests, interior means the portion inside a curve, while the exterior means the area or region outside the curve. Let's read it here. The area inside of a curve is called its interior and the area outside of a curve is called exterior. That means we have this curve and the area outside of it, see here, and the area outside of it, it's called its exterior region. Okay, so this is the interior and this is the exterior of a curve. Now moving ahead, we have convex and concave polygon. Okay, understand this carefully. Convex polygon is a polygon in which all the diagonals lie in the interior of the polygon is called convex polygon, which means a polygon in which all the diagonals lie in the interior. For example, if you draw a diagonal for this figure, we have this vertex. Its adjacent vertices are this one and this one. Its non-adjacent vertices is remaining 3. So when you join this point to this, you will get the diagonal. For this point, its adjacent vertices are this one and this one, and its non-adjacent vertices will be remaining 3. Okay, so when you join this point to this point, you will get the diagonal. Next, for this point, its adjacent vertices are this one and this one. Remaining will be non-adjacent vertices. So we can join it here. We get another diagonal. After joining this, we will get another diagonal. Okay, similarly for the next one, its adjacent vertices are this one and this one. So we will join, see, so we will join to the remaining point. So this all you will get what? This all you will get its vertices. You will find that all its diagonal are lying in the interior of this polygon. See here. Okay, such polygons are called convex polygons. That means whatever the number of diagonal it has, all the diagonal will completely lie in the polygon. Okay, you can see for this figure. See, for this figure also, you draw its diagonal. See, you draw its diagonal, it's also lying in its interior, right? Similarly for the remaining figure, you can check it all. Okay, you can check this. All the diagonals of this polygons are lying in the interior of the polygon, so such polygon are called convex polygon. So simply, a polygon in which all the diagonals lie in the interior of the polygon is called convex polygon. Okay, now moving to the concave polygon, it says a polygon in which one or more of its diagonals does not lie in the interior of polygon is called concave polygon. That means if one diagonal or more than one diagonal of the polygon are not lying in the interior, that polygon will be called concave polygon. See, for this vertex, these two are its adjacent vertices. So only non-adjacent vertices is this one. So when you join this, see, when you join this, you will get the diagonal. When we come to this vertex, its adjacent vertices are this one and this one. These two are its adjacent vertices. Only one is left, is this one. So when you join this two, see, when you join this two, you will get the diagonal, but this diagonal is lying the outside of this polygon. Okay. Similarly, when you draw the diagonal connecting this non-adjacent vertices, again you will get the diagonal which is in the exterior of the polygon. Similarly, here also and for this case also. That means one of their diagonal is lying outside the polygon. That means this diagonal are lying in the exterior. Such polygons are called concave polygons. Okay, I hope it's clear to you. In convex polygon, all the diagonal will be inside the polygon, while in the concave polygon, one or more of the diagonal will lie in the exterior of the polygon. All such polygons are called concave polygon. Okay. Moving ahead, next we have angle sum property. First we have for a triangle which says the sum of the three interior angles of a triangle is equals to 180 degree. That means the sum of all the three angles of a triangle is equals to 180 degree. Okay, for example, if we have this triangle name A, B, C, then the sum of the angle A plus angle B plus angle C will be equals to 180 degree. It's called the angle sum property of a triangle. Okay. Next we have angle sum property of a quadrilateral. Okay. So for quadrilateral, the sum of the four interior angles of a quadrilateral is equals to 360 degree. That means the sum of the all of four of its angle will be equals to 360 degree. Suppose let's name it A, B, C, D. Then the sum of angle A plus angle B plus angle C plus angle D will be equals to 360 degree. Okay. So this is the angle sum property of a triangle, and this is the angle sum property of a quadrilateral. Okay. Next we have sum of the measures of the interior angles of a polygon is given by the formula sum of interior angles of any polygon is equals to n minus 2 into 180 degree. Here n is equals to number of sides. Okay. For example, let's take it for triangle. A triangle has how many sides? A triangle has 3 sides. That means n is equals to 3 for a triangle. Now, if we use this formula, then the sum of its interior angles is equals to, we have the formula what? N minus 2. Here n is what? 3, right? So 3 minus 2 into 180 degree. 3 minus 2 is 1 into 180 degree will be equals to 180 degree. Like we have written here, the sum of the measure of interior angles of a triangle is equals to 180 degree, right? Now see, and by using this formula we have proved that sum of its angle is 180 degree. You can check it also for quadrilateral. The number of side in a quadrilateral is n is equals to 4. Now you can check. Okay. So sum of its interior angles is equals to, we have the formula, right? N minus 2 into 180 degree. Here n is 4. So 4 minus 2 is 2 into 180 degree is equals to 360 degree, right? So we have checked it for the triangle and the quadrilateral. This formula is satisfying. So now let's start with the exercise 3.1. So let's start with the first question. First question here is, given here are some figures. So we are given some figure here. There are total 8 figures given, and you are asked to classify each of them on the basis of this following. On the basis of the following. First is the simple curve, then simple closed curve, then polygon, and convex polygon and concave polygon. Okay. Now we have to classify this figure in this 5 categories. So first one is we have to classify them into answer number 1. Part A is simple curve. Simple curve means the figure has to be a closed figure and there should not be any overlapping of the line. So the first one is a closed figure without overlapping. Second one is also closed figure without overlapping. But here in this between we have enclosed region. Okay, this is a ring and inside there is a space, so this is not a closed curve. In the fourth one we have the overlapping of the line. Okay, so this is not a simple curve. The fifth one is also a closed figure and there is no overlapping of line. In the sixth one is also a closed figure without overlapping, and seventh also is a closed figure without overlapping. And this one, see this one, there is a open region around this line. So simple curve out of this 8 are figure number 1, figure number 2, figure number 5, figure number 6 and figure number 7. These are the simple closed curve, okay, because they are made up of simple line without overlapping and all of them are closed. Okay. Second is simple closed curve. These are again the same. This all the figures are simple curve and all of them are closed. So again the figures are figure number 1, figure number 2, figure number 5, figure number 6 and figure number 7. These are all simple curve and also simple closed curve. Next we have polygon. Like we have discussed in the previous videos that polygons are which are made up of only straight line. It should be made up of only straight line and it should be closed. So out of this figure only figure number 1 and figure number 2 are made up of straight line. Okay. Next part we have to classify now them as convex polygon. Like that we have studied in this video, convex polygon is the polygon in which all of its diagonal lie in its interior. Okay. So if we draw the diagonal, see if we draw the diagonal of this first figure, its diagonal will lie in the exterior of the figure. So only this figure number 2 have its diagonal inside the polygon, right? So figure number 2 is the convex polygon. Okay. Next we have concave polygon. We have a concave polygon. So as we know from the definition, if any one or more of a diagonal lie in its exterior, that polygon is concave polygon. So the figure number 1, see the figure number 1 is the example for concave polygon. So this is the answer of first question. Moving ahead to the next question, we have question number 2. It says how many diagonals does each of the following have? First is a convex quadrilateral, second a regular hexagon and the third is a triangle. So we are given the name of this figure. We have to identify how many diagonals they have. First we have a convex quadrilateral. So let's say this is our convex quadrilateral. Convex means all of its diagonals should lie in its interior. Okay. So let's draw its diagonal. See, let's draw it. Diagonal. Diagonal means we have to draw a line segment joining its non-adjacent vertices. So these are the two diagonals. For a convex quadrilateral, so we will write answer is 2 diagonals. Okay. Next we have a regular hexagon. Regular hexagon means all of its side should be of equal length. So let's draw. This is the general figure of regular hexagon. It could be like this. Okay, so let's start drawing its diagonal. So from this vertex we can draw 1 2 3 diagonal. Okay, from the next vertex we can draw this diagonals. From this vertex we can draw this diagonals. Okay, this is already joined. So you will find that total diagonals we will get is 9 diagonals. Okay, so total diagonals are 9 diagonals over here. Next we have a triangle. Okay, this is a general figure of a triangle. Let this is a triangle, we can't be draw its diagonal. From the definition of a diagonal, it says diagonal is a line segment joining the two non-adjacent vertices of a polygon. So for this particular vertex, its non-adjacent, see, vertices, this one is also its adjacent vertices, this is also its adjacent vertices. Similarly for this one, these two are its adjacent vertices, and similarly for this one, these two are its adjacent vertices. So we cannot draw any diagonal in the triangle. So answer is 0 diagonal. Now moving ahead to the next question, we have what is the sum of the measures of the angles of a convex quadrilateral. Further it says, will this property hold if the quadrilateral is not convex? So answer for this one is, as we know, the sum of the measure of the angle of a quadrilateral is 360 degree. So you write the answer, the sum of the measure of the angles of a convex quadrilateral is 360 degree, and the answer for second part is yes, this property will hold true even if the quadrilateral is not convex. Okay. Now moving to the fourth question, which is a very important question. This question says, examine the table. Each figure is divided into triangles and the sum of the angles deducted from that. So you are given a table, each figure is divided into two triangles and the sum of the angles deducted from that. So first figure we have triangle. Okay, the number of side here is 3. As we know from the angle sum property of triangle that sum of the measure of all three angles of a triangle is 180 degree. Okay, next we have another figure. Now the number of sides here are 4, and by drawing this diagonal in the middle we have divided into two triangles. That means, as we know by the angle sum property, that the sum of the angle of triangle is 180 degree. Since we have two triangles, so 2 into 180 degree is sum of the angles of the triangle. Okay, so we can also write it as 4 minus 2 into 180 degree. See the next figure. This figure we have total 5 side, 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, by drawing this two diagonals, see, by drawing this two diagonals, this one and this one, we have divided the figure into three triangles, 1 2 3. Okay, so sum of the angle will be 3 into 180 degree, because this 180 degree is the sum of the angle of a triangle. Since we have three triangles here, so 3 into 180 degree, or we can write this as 5 minus 2 into 180 degree. Okay, similarly for the next one, here we have 6 side and we have drawn the diagonal to divide into triangles. So how many triangles we have here? 1 2 3 4. That means we can find the sum of this its angle as 4 into 180 degree. Okay, similarly we can also write it as this number of sides, that is 6 minus 2 into 180 degree. So 6 minus 2 is again 4. So based on this table we can now now you are asked to find what can you say about the angle sum property of convex polygon with number of sides. See, what can you say about the angle sum of a convex polygon with number of side? First we have 7. So this is answer number 4, part A. The number of side here are 7. That means we assume the number of side as n. That means n is equals to 7. Based on this formula we can find the sum of its angle. So see here, sum of the measure of its angle is equals to 7 minus 2 into 180 degree. Okay, so 7 minus 2 is 5 into 180 degree, that will be equals to what? 900 degree. So the sum of the measure of the angle of this polygon with number of sides 7 is 900 degree. Now you solve for this part B, C and D. Okay, try it by yourself. Now moving to the next question, question number 5. See, question number 5, it says what is a regular polygon? State the name of a regular polygon of 3 side, 4 side and 6 side. See, regular polygon, we have done the definition of regular polygon in the previous video, right, which was a polygon in which the measure of its angle and the side is equal. That means it is equiangular and equilateral. So such polygons are called regular polygon. Okay, here I am not writing its definition, see it from the previous session. Okay, and you will write it by yourself. And see, let's come to the next part of the question. It says state the name of a regular polygon of 3 side, 4 side and 6 side. So I hope you know the 3 side polygon is called triangle, 4 side polygon is called quadrilateral and 6 side polygon is called hexagon. So you have to answer this question by yourself only. Okay, write this in your notebook. Now let's come to the next question, question number 6. It says find the angle measure of x in the following figures. Student, in question number 6 we are having 4 figures. Okay, this is the first figure we have. Now see, here we are given this figure, and from this figure we have to find the values of x, which is here. Okay, we are going to use the angle sum property for a quadrilateral. So let's start by writing its answer. So answer number 6, part A, figure given to us is like this. See student, you have to draw this figure in your notebook using pencil and scale. Okay, and you should need to draw it neatly and cleanly. Okay, so here we have 50 degree angle, here we have 130 degree angle, and here we have 120 degree angle, and this one is given as x, and we have to find the value of this x. We can find the value of x by using the angle sum property of a quadrilateral. So we write, using angle sum property of a quadrilateral, we know that the sum of the measure of all interior angles of a quadrilateral is 360 degree. That is, let's add all the angles. First we have 50 degree plus 130 degree plus 120 degree, and the fourth angle is x, should be equals to 360 degree by angle sum property of quadrilateral. So now first we have to add this 3. So 130, see 50 degree plus 130 degree plus 120 degree, this is equals to what? 300 degree. Then plus x is equals to 360 degree. So 300 degree plus x is equals to 360 degree. Now you shift this 300 degree to this side, so it will become minus 300 degree. So x is equals to what? 360 degree minus 300 degree. So you will get x is equals to 60 degree. Okay, so this is our answer for this first one. Now moving to the next part, we have part number B. See here, this angle is 70 degree, this angle is 60 degree, this angle is 90 degree, and this one is x. So as the perpendicular sign is given, that means this angle here is 90 degree. Okay, now again we got the measure of 3 angles out of the 4 angles of this quadrilateral. So we will write using the angle sum property of quadrilateral, that is, as we know, the sum of its 4 angles will be 360 degree. That means this 90 degree plus 60 degree plus 70 degree plus x is equals to 360 degree. When you add all these 3, you will get 220 degree. So plus x is equals to 360 degree. Then you will get x is equals to 360 degree. This 220 degree will shift to this side, so it will become minus 220 degree. So you will get x is equals to 140 degree. Okay. Now moving to the next question, we have part C. We have figure like this. This angle given here is 70 degree. This one here is 60 degree. And we are given a double lines here. See, we are given a double lines here. That means these two angles are equal. Okay. That means this is x and this one is also x, and the angle here is 30 degree. Okay. Now as you know that you must have studied in your previous class, the sum of the angle of a linear pair is 180 degree. Okay, so we will write from the figure these two angles. See, these two angles, the angle here, this is 70 degree and the angle here will be equals to 180 degree. So let's write name this angle as A. Okay, see here, A, and this angle as B. So this will be what? 70 plus A is equals to 180 degree. We write the reason for this one is because they are linear pair. Okay, so A is equals to what? 180 degree minus 70 degree. So your A will be equals to 110 degree. Okay, and also see, B plus 60 degree is equals to 180 degree. Here also the reason is same. Why? Because linear pair. So your B is equals to what? 180 degree, and this 60 degree you will shift to this side, so it will become minus 60 degree. Then you will get B is equals to 120 degree. Okay, now we will apply the angle sum property for this polygon. Now as you can see, this polygon has 5 sides, right? 1 2 3 4 5. So first we have to calculate the sum of the measure of its interior angle from this formula, like which we have discussed earlier. The sum of the measure of all the interior angles of pentagon is equals to, the number of side here is 5. So 5 minus 2 into 180 degree is equals to what? 5 minus 2 is 3 into 180 degree is equals to 540 degree. Okay. Now we will apply the property for this figure, that is, the sum of the all 5 angles of the pentagon will be equals to 540 degree. That means first angle we have here 110 degree, then plus 120 degree plus x plus 30 degree, it should be equals to 540 degree, right? So you will get what? 260 degree plus x is 2x is equals to 540 degree. Then you will get 2x is equals to 540 degree. This 260 degree will shift to this side, so it will become minus 260 degree. So 2x is equals to 280 degree. Then you will get x is equals to 280 upon 2 is equals to 140 degree. Okay. Next part is part D. Here we have a regular pentagon. So we know that the sum of the measure of all the interior angles of a pentagon is 540 degree. That is x plus x plus x plus x plus x is equals to 540 degree. So this will be 5x is equals to 540 degree. So x will be equals to 540 degree upon 5. So which results into what? X is equals to 108 degree. So this is the answer for this part number D for the question number 6. Okay. Now coming to the last question of this exercise. In question number 7 we are given two figures, figure A and B, and we are asked to calculate the x plus y plus z and x plus y plus z plus w. So the first one is a triangle. This angle is 30 degree and this angle is 90 degree. So first you will apply the angle sum property of the triangle. So see, this is answer number 7 part A. So by using angle sum property of triangle, the first angle is 30 degree plus 90 degree plus, let's say this is A, okay, is equals to 180 degree. So your A will be equals to what? 180 degree minus 120 degree. So you will get A is equal to 60 degree. So the value of A is equals to 60 degree. Okay. Now see, now we have to find what? The value of x, y, z. So using linear pair axiom, it says that the sum of angles of a linear pair is equals to 180 degree, right? So this will be the sum of these two angles, this angle and this angle will be 180 degree. That means x plus 90 degree is equals to 180 degree. So you will get x is equals to 180 degree and this 90 degree will shift to this side, so it will become minus 90 degree. So your value of x is equals to what? 90 degree. Similarly, for the next one, the sum of these two angles equals to 180 degree. So 60 plus y is equals to 180 degree. So you will get y is equals to 180 degree. You shift this 60 to this side, so it will become minus 60 degree. So you will get the value of y is equals to 120 degree. Next we have by the linear pair, these two angles is equals to 180 degree. So 30 plus z is equals to 180 degree. So you will get z is equals to 180 degree minus 30 degree. So z is equals to 150 degree. Okay. So see, now here x is 90 degree, y is 120 degree and z is 150 degree. So x plus y plus z is equals to, here x is 90 degree, y is 120 degree and z is 150 degree. So that will be equals to what? 360 degree. Okay. Now moving to next part, part B. See, using angle sum property of a quadrilateral, let's name this angle as A. So 60 degree plus 80 degree plus 120 degree plus A is equals to 360 degree. When you add this 3, you will get 260 degree plus A is equals to 360 degree. So A is equals to what? 100 degree. Now we have got the measure of all four interior angles. This A is equals to 100 degree. Now we apply the linear pair axiom for all the four angles to find the value of x, y, z and w. So using linear pair axiom, linear pair says the sum of the linear pair angle is 180 degree. That is this w plus A, that is w plus 100 is equals to 180 degree. So W is equals to what? 180 degree minus, shift this 100 to this side, so it will become minus 100 degree. So you will get what? Value of W is equals to 80 degree. Similarly, x plus 120 degree, thus both angles is equals to 180 degree, right? Why? Because linear pair. So x plus 120 degree is equals to 180 degree. So you will get x is equals to what? 180 degree minus 120 degree. So you will get the value of x is equals to 60 degree, right? Similarly, this two angles y plus 80 degree is equals to 180 degree. Why? Because linear pair. So you will get y is equals to 180 degree minus 80 degree. So y equals to 100 degree, right? For similarly for these two angles also equals to 180 degree. Why? Because linear pair. So z plus 60 degree is equals to 180 degree. So z is equals to 180 degree minus 60 degree. So the value of z you will get is 120 degree. Hence x plus y plus z plus w is equals to, here x is 60 degree plus y is 100 degree, z is 120 degree and w is 80 degree. So you will get 360 degree. Okay, so this is the answer for the second part. So by this we have finished the exercise 3.1.